Welcome to Base Sunday. This month is National Filipino American History Month, and in celebration, Yoshi's in San Francisco will be hosting the 4th annual Filipino American Jazz Festival. So to tell us a little bit more, we have the festival executive director, Carlos Zialcita, as well as jazz artist Annie Brazil, also known as the Queen of Jazz in Asia. Good morning to the two of you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Susie.
So nice to have you on the show. Now let's just start with, I gotta ask you, Carlos, you know, I lived in Hawaii. I knew a lot of people who were Filipino, and you know, you don't necessarily associate Filipino Americans with jazz. How did this all come about?
Well, that's a great question. Actually, what happened is we learned jazz firsthand from the African-American Buffalo soldiers who came to the Philippines during the Spanish-American War.
Oh, wow.
And that music was just developing here in the United States. They introduced that music to us in the Philippines. At the same time, Filipinos had been living in New Orleans since the mid-1700s. So actually, we're one of the very, very first immigrant groups to come to the United States and to participate in American culture. And jazz, as we all know, is a uniquely American art form. So it's actually a very integral part of Filipino culture and history, both here and the Philippines, where jazz has been performed for 100 years.
That's fascinating. I studied jazz at UCLA, and I was trying to rack my brain thinking, were there any Filipino artists? And I couldn't remember any, but apparently there are brilliant people like you, Annie. And what has it been like? What is the jazz scene like in Asia, or in your experience over there?
Well, it is very, very good, but then half of my life is spent outside the Philippines because then they're not really playing too much jazz. They've been in the karaoke or something like that. So the good musicians get out of there and play somewhere else.
They become very worldly like yourself,
Yeah.
I'm sure, because you live in New York City. Now, this is the 4th annual Filipino American Jazz Festival, and we do have a clip just to show you guys what it was like last year. Let's take a look.
Let someone start believing in you. Let her hold out her hand. Let her touch you and watch what happens. Want someone with a look in her eyes.
That was from last year at Yoshi's, just like it's going to be this year. And Carlos, tell me who this is and tell me a little bit about this
Her
performer.
name is Cherito. She's currently based out of Tokyo, where she's been living over 15 years. And she is considered Tokyo's premier jazz singer, but she hails from Manila. As I mentioned, lives in Tokyo. She's just performed the Manly Jazz Festival in Sydney, Australia. She's performed all over the world. She's recorded with Michel Legrand, a number of jazz luminaries. We're extremely proud of her, and we were very proud of her last year when we presented her at Yoshi's. The Fillmore, by the way, is a Filipino-American neighborhood dating all the way back to the 1920s.
You're just full of historical information today, Carlos.
Well, it is Filipino-American History Month.
I know, you're just filling us all in. I think that's cool. Can you tell us who's going to be performing this year for the 4th annual one?
This year we have as one of our headliners, of course, Miss Annie Brazil, who many years was considered the Queen of Asia's jazz. We also have Lena Sunday. We have Winston Raval, an extremely gifted pianist and composer, and Anne-Marie Santos, a fantastic vocalist. And music will be provided by the San Francisco Pinoy Jazz Quartet.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Now, Annie, for any of those budding jazz musicians out there, do you have any advice to give them?
I think they should just play what they really want to play and be happy.
Play from the heart.
Play from the heart.
Yeah, I think that's some good advice.
Yeah.
All right, if you'd like to check out the festival, it is tonight. As we mentioned, it is at Yoshi's. It is the 4th, right, it's Sunday. And the 4th annual San Francisco Filipino American Jazz Festival. Again, if you'd like more information, it is at sfpinoyjazzfest.com. We have more exciting guests coming up, but before we go, we'd like to ask Annie Brazil to sing us to break, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind, but as long as I'll have my voice coming out, I'll do it.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
What am I going to do? Anyway, I don't believe in fretting or grieving. Why mess around? the stripes too early. I never was cut out. Start and start out. Give me a simple life. Shabba-bee-ba-doo-ba-bee.